So today I'm going to make a really easy snack that my kids love, and I got the recipe from Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease Cookbooks from the Esselstyn family, and it is the Philly style pretzels, and these are absolutely delicious. So I'm doubling the recipe so it'll look like it's more than what the recipe calls for, but I'm going to name off exactly what the recipe calls for. And what the recipe calls for is 6 pretzels, and I'm doubling it because my kids just love it so much. So what you're going to need is 3/4 cups of water, warm water. You're going to need some 1 tablespoon of, or 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, right here. You're going to need 2 cups of white whole wheat flour. Now I don't have white whole wheat flour, so I am using my whole wheat organic flour, and I'm mixing it with my ivory wheat flour, which I love. But I've also made this with white flour, so it doesn't really matter. It's up to you. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of oat flour, and if you don't have oat flour, it's really easy to make your own. You just take oats, whichever oats you have, and put them in your blender or Cuisinart and mix them up and shred them like this, and then you have oat flour. So you're going to need 1/2 cup of that. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of baking soda and topping of your choice. So let's get started. So I've already mixed my flours together with my whisk. I'm going to mix all my dry ingredients. Flour. I'm going to mix well actually that's going in the water. So it's just these 2 guys. Now I'm going to take my water, and what I am going to do is I'm going to mix my wet ingredients together. And so I'm going to put the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, but I'm doubling it, so we're going to do 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my yeast. And I'm going to mix it all together. And now I'm going to pour it in here. I'm going to mix it. Now, because I'm using whole wheat flour, you may need a little bit more water, but we're going to see if we can make it work. So I've mixed it and I've kneaded it, and this is what it should look like when you're done. So like I'll pull it and none of it will come off in my hand. And it should be kind of elastic, like elasticy. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to cut it into little balls, and I'm going to use my knife to do that. And then I'm just going to roll them. So what you would do is you would cut them into 6 balls. Roll them and just put them back in the bowl like that. Okay, so I rolled them into little balls, and these little balls are going to be your pretzel. So 1 ball, 1 pretzel. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover it and let it sit for about 25 minutes. Okay, so these have been sitting for about 25 minutes. I've turned my oven on to 400 and it's preheating. And I'm boiling, I filled up a small pot with water. And this is where I'm going to put my baking soda in. So I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of baking soda in here. And we're going to let this come to a boil. Now we're going to go shape our pretzels. So I've got my tray with parchment paper here, and I just keep them simple. Just roll them out. You know, or just like that. And so I'm gonna just do different shapes. Okay, so now that I've got them all done, now we're going to take them over to the water. We're going to bring our topping, whatever topping you choose. My kids like a little bit of salt and a little bit of sesames on top. So I'll show you how I do it. So now I've got my slotted spoon and I'm going to drop these in the water and let them cook for about 10 seconds. And now I'm going to sprinkle, now that it's wet, my salt. And we'll do the rest. Okay, so I finished boiling them. I put my little toppings on, and now we're going to bake them at 400 degrees between 12 and 15 minutes. Pretty. So we're gonna put them over here. Yeah, these are perfect, healthy pretzels that your family can enjoy. Okay, so here's the perfect pretzel, and you can see it's just nice and soft. It's perfect.